Deep underground in an undisclosed location, this is Tread Comics presents the Buck Rogers 1939 serial. Buck Rogers is a 1939 science fiction film serial produced by Universal Pictures. It stars Buster Crabbe, who had previously played the title character in two Flash Gordon serials and would return for a third in 1940 as our hero. Constance Moore, Jackie Moran, and Anthony Warde would round out the cast. It is based on the Buck Rogers character created by Philip Francis Nowland, who had appeared in magazines and comic strips since 1928. In 1938, Lieutenant Buck Rogers, played by Buster Crabbe, and Buddy Wade, played by Jackie Moran, are part of a crew flying over the North Pole. They are caught in a savage storm and crash. They are ordered to release the experimental Nirvano Gas, which, unbeknownst to them, will put them in suspended animation until they are rescued. The Nirvano Gas works, but their ship is buried in an avalanche and is not found until 500 years have passed. When Buck and Buddy are found, they awaken in the year 2440 to a world ruled by the ruthless dictator Killer Kane, played by Anthony Warde, and his army of super-racketeers. Only those who live in the hidden city, run by the benevolent scientist Dr. Huer, played by C. Montgomery Shaw, and his military counterpart, Air Marshal Kragg, played by William Gould, resist the criminal rulers of Earth. Buck and Buddy join the resistance. They volunteer to go to Saturn, where they hope that they can find help in their fight against Killer Kane. Wilma Deering, played by the beautiful Constance Moore, is assigned to accompany them. Saturn is run by Aldar, played by Guy Usher, and the Council of the Wise, and Prince Talon. To the dismay of Buck and Buddy, they also discover that Killer Kane has dispatched ambassadors of his own, headed by his loyal henchman, Captain Laska, played by Henry Brandon. The series then becomes a back-and-forth struggle between Buck and Kane to secure the military support of Saturn. This 12-part Buck Rogers movie serial was launched in 1939. It starred Buster Crabbe, who had played the role of Flash Gordon in the serials Flash Gordon and Flash Gordon's Trip to Mars prior to Buck Rogers. Constance Moore played Lieutenant Wilma Deering, the only woman in the film, and Jackie Moran was Buddy Wade, a character who did not appear in any other versions of the Buck Rogers franchise, but who is clearly modeled on the Sunday strip character Buddy Deering. Anthony Warde played Killer Kane, Buck Rogers' enemy. This was the only time that Warde, who usually portrayed evil underlings in serials, played an evil villain lead. Korean actor Philip An, younger brother of noted actor Philip An, played Prince Talon, a Saturnian native who befriends Buck Rogers. Noted actor and the crown prince of stuntmen, David Sharp, who appeared in over 4,500 films over the course of a 7-decade career, also appeared in the Buck Rogers serial in several roles. One as Kane's pilot, a hidden city sentry, and a Centurion lieutenant. The serial had a small budget and saved money on special effects by reusing materials from other stories. Background shots from the futuristic musical Just Imagine, which was released in 1930, as well as the City of the Future, the garnishly stenciled wall from Azura's Palace set in Flash Gordon's trip to Mars, and even the studded leather belt that Crabbe wore in Flash Gordon's trip to Mars turned up as part of Buck Rogers' uniform. In 1953, the 1939 movie serial was edited into a feature film entitled Planet Outlaws by Sherman Kessberg for release via Goodwill Pictures Incorporated. Then it was edited once again to feature length entitled Destination Saturn for syndication to television in 1965. Finally, the serial was edited once again into a feature film format in the late 1970s. This version, simply entitled Buck Rogers, with the theatrical poster advertising Star Wars owes it all to Buck Rogers, and which was later sold on videotape in the early 1990s by VCI Entertainment under the catalog picture title of Planet Outlaws, which title, to make it appear more legitimate, was also superimposed onto the first shot of film following the main titles. The original Planet Outlaws and also Destination Saturn have both been available in video format since the early 1980s, and as early as 1970s were both available for user purchase in 16mm film format from Thunderbird Pictures. VCI released all 12 installments on DVD in September of 2000, and in November of 2009, VCI released a special 70th anniversary edition on DVD, with extras including The History of Buck Rogers by Clifford Laughing Gravy Weimer, a photo gallery, and the 1935 Buck Rogers short feature originally shown at the 1933-1934 World's Fair.
Beyond the jet plane, beyond the atomic bomb, beyond the time machine, and all the scientific marvels of tomorrow, there is Buster Crabbe as Buck Rogers. Thrill as Buck and his sidekick Buddy are discovered after 500 years of suspended animation.
Who is this man called Killer Kane? He is the result of the stupidity of the men of your century.
Chill at the villainy of Killer Kane, the most despicable despot ever to menace the galaxy.
There's no time to lose. We must attack Hidden City immediately.
Cheer as Buck and Buddy join forces with the heroic rebels of the Hidden City.
Is it true that you are revolutionaries?
In a sense, I suppose we are. If it's revolutionary to protest against brutality.
I have had enough.
Shudder at the frightening vision of a futuristic metropolis. Shiver as Buck and Buddy venture alone into Kane's evil domain. Quiver as Buck is forced into one of Kane's mind-robbing robot helmets. Is this Buck Rogers' destiny? To spend the rest of his days as one of Killer Kane's lackeys? No! Gasp as Spunky Space Cadet Wilma Deering defies Kane and dares to rescue Buck. Never before have there been such wonders. Never before such feats. Never before a movie as amazing, as awe-inspiring, as fast and furious as the original Star Warrior, Buck Rogers.
Hey, buddy, you take the controls and keep her as she is. We're headed for the planet Saturn.
Yes, sir. You followed his exploits in the comics. You thrilled to them on the radio. Now, come and see it all on the big screen. Before Star Trek, before Star Wars, there is the original interplanetary adventure film, Buck Rogers.
The Force has always been with us.
Gosh, that's swell.
Come back to Buck Rogers.